While Shiraishi walks down his school hallway, he is thankful his grades didn't sink during the commencement of the final exams. Kubo arrives to watch the rainy weather with him, and he considers how long it would take till Kubo can no longer find him anymore. The reason being that their classes will be changed with the coming school year. At the lockers, Kubo is delighted that Shiraishi doesn't come to school with his umbrella, and offers to share hers with him as an experiment. The experiment was to determine if people would recognize his presence when they both walk under the umbrella. A nonchalant Shiraishi thinks Kubo's idea will definitely get him seen, though he hadn't done it before. He rejects Kubo's idea and is ready to walk under the rain when Kubo comes up with an idea to get him to comply. She gives Shiraishi her umbrella to walk home on his own, while she wishes him a farewell and runs home under the rain. Shiraishi is pushed to compassion and has no other choice but to comply with Kubo's experiment. While they go home, Shiraishi is stunned at the fact that he was walking side by side with Kubo under an umbrella, just as couples do, and is careful so he doesn't brush shoulders with Kubo. He suggests a quiet path to follow, one that wouldn't render them unseen, much to the dismay of Kubo, who was looking forward to the experiment. After some series of cute comments from Kubo, which made Shiraishi nervously hide his flattered face, he drops Kubo by her house and walks ahead to his. On a Saturday morning, Shiraishi sees Saki walking out of a supermarket with heavy items, and offers to help her. He is able to convince Saki to let him carry her heavy bags filled with items for a meal with Nagi, which is Kubo's first name. At Kubo's residence, she is continuously panicking over Saki's lateness to arrive when she receives a text from Shiraishi, asking if some of the ingredients that Saki forgot to buy were available in her house. On the way, Saki pesters Shiraishi, asking what his relationship with Kubo was. He declines all of Saki's suggestions and settles for being Kubo's classmate only. Just then, Kubo arrives and both girls force Kubo's first name from Shiraishi's lips as a test of their closeness. While the girls walk home, Saki notices Kubo's flushed face and figures the two have unspoken feelings for each other. It's pollen season, and Shiraishi is bored in his class for the school year, which results in him dismembering his red pen to reveal the spring in it, which was his favorite part. While he plays with and misplaces the spring, he is unaware that Kubo had been watching him and finds himself in a difficult spot trying to explain his way out of the situation. When the professor asks all the tables to be with a red pen, Kubo gives her spare pen to Shiraishi. He finds it extremely cute while Kubo is flattered that she gets to use a matching pen with Shiraishi. That night, Kubo, Hazuki, and Tama hold a sleepover as their last day in the same class, yet hope to be together when the new arrangement is decided. Shiraishi's mom sends him errand shopping and his little brother Seita asks to tag along. While the cherries blossom, Akina, Saki, and Kubo stroll through admiring the view. Saki is disheartened when Kubo refuses to help him with lunch because of her poor cooking skills. Yet, Saki doesn't mind and settles for Kubo enjoying her food since she was a better cook. When they arrive at the supermarket, Kubo approaches Shiraishi and Seita while they shop for potatoes, and it's not long till Saki joins them. Seita is mesmerized by Saki's beauty, and although shy at first, he gives her his favorite pretty rock. Akina walks over to invite Shiraishi and Seita for lunch, and also uses it as bait to make Kubo cook. The next morning, Kubo struggles to peel an onion when Saki arrives to help her with a meal. Saki gives Kubo directions to slice the onion, but a careless Kubo ends up cutting her finger. Saki bandages Kubo's finger and apologizes, feeling guilty and at fault for her injury, that she shuns Kubo from cooking. Akina arrives and tells the girls that one should learn from their past experiences and failures instead of giving up. Kubo gives cooking a second chance, and with Saki's help, she's able to finish the meal, and Saki is delighted to have the first bite from Kubo's meal. They all arrived at the park for the picnic, and after admiring the beautiful view the cherry blossoms gave, they were seated for the picnic. Seita is amazed at Saki's cooked meals, and has them in several rounds, while Kubo is flattered when Shiraishi compliments her cooked meal. Akina gets drunk after drinking several rounds of booze, and speaks carelessly whilst shoving her bosoms in Shiraishi's face. Kubo gets so embarrassed, angry, and upset as she walks out of the picnic ground. Shiraishi walks behind her with Seita, unsure of what to tell her even after being pestered by Seita. Shiraishi is dismayed when Kubo's response to his apology was unreceptive, and an adorable Seita makes the next move, bringing Shiraishi and Kubo together to talk. The two settle, walking together holding hands, and with Seita in the middle. Kubo also expresses her wish to be in the same class with Shiraishi when the new school year begins. Shiraishi awakens in the morning, now officially a second-year student. He accounts that things remain the same and unchanged in his world, despite being in a different grade. Him being invisible to people, being invisible among the crowd was still his lifestyle, and however it was, Kubo always managed to find him. Shiraishi's new class brings him with Kubo once again, as well as Tama and Hazuki, who are all delighted to be together once again. When Shiraishi silently retreats to his seat, Kubo arrives and asks him a guess where her seat would be for the second year. Shiraishi's lack of motivation makes her give him a hint, and it turns out that it's the seat with the white bunny purse next to him. Kubo expresses her joy for the opportunity to sit close to Shiraishi once again, and this time around, till graduation because they were no longer changing classes. After school, Kubo, Hazuki, and Tama meet at a cafe to celebrate another year of success with the class arrangements. When they ask about Shiraishi, Kubo reveals to them that he was present earlier in class, but both girls deny his presence, claiming they didn't notice him. When Kubo arrives home, she tells Akina that she and her friends made it into the same class, but Akina was more interested in knowing what class the boy ended up in. The next morning, in school, everyone is to choose what committee to work for. Because of Shiraishi's ghost personality, it was unknown who was responsible for the weeding and blooming of the flowers in the environmental committee. He recounts how no one knew he was responsible because they never saw the person who did it except Kubo, who watched them diligently. When the time to join the environmental committee arrives, Kubo puts her hands up for herself and Shiraishi, and the professor, who is the head of the committee, gladly takes them both. Before the next lecture begins, the boys in class talk about their various committees, and they assume that Shiraishi got into the environmental committee so he could hook up with Kubo. However, Pseudo, who was a member of the committee the previous year, shuts them down. That Shiraishi is good with a plan, so it was probably the reason he wanted to join again. During science class, Shiraishi is grouped with Kubo and Pseudo, and with Kubo's help, the boys start up a conversation. Pseudo tells him that he had always wanted to speak with him, but never met him once till the school year ran out. Pseudo also compliments his work with the flowers and asks him for tips since his seedlings never came out as well as Shiraishi's. After class, Shiraishi thanks Kubo for helping him have the second best conversation since he met her, and Kubo hides in a corner, unable to hold back her smile. When school hours are over, Shiraishi is eager to taste the new youthful lemon drink, but is startled by Kubo, who appears behind him, and he mistakenly presses on a can of water. While they walk together, Kubo asks him what he thinks his youthful flavor was, and his response is water. Kubo compliments his response saying, with water, he can be and accomplish anything, ranging from any carbonated drink to even a fruit drink. Kubo tells him a fulfilling youth includes his friends by his side, and Shiraishi wonders how it was possible when he had no friends or social life. Kubo questions their relationship, and when Shiraishi realizes his closeness with Kubo, he tells her that being friends with her will be a fulfilling, youthful life. That brings us to the end of today's recap on Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. I hope you enjoyed this recap as much as I did. Please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and kindly comment below if you'd like to see the next part. Bye and thanks for watching. See you next time.